Hi, this is Chris Bertelson with a quick clip from Nevada Learning Series. This is an introduction to Windows 8. Welcome to Windows 8. What you see here is the Start screen. This is the new replacement for the old Start button and Start menus that we had in the past. And these squares and rectangles that you see are called tiles, and they represent different programs or applications or apps that you can run on your system. There's a long list of these tiles, and I can scroll over here to the right and show you more. Scroll back to the left. And to start a program, you simply touch it with the mouse, click, and it opens it up. Here we have a maps program. We can zoom in and get a closer look at Des Moines. Now, many of these apps run full screen, so you don't see a clue as to what you would click on to go back to the Start screen. If you look on your keyboard, you'll find that clue between the Control and Alt keys. On most keyboards now, there's a Windows button with a Windows flag. Touch that, and that takes you right back to the Start screen. If you have a wheel on your mouse, you can turn the wheel in the Start screen and scroll back and forth. If you use the keyboard to interact with your computer, you can use that here as well. The End key takes you to the end. Home takes you to the beginning. You can use the cursor keys to cursor around to what you want. Select something, hit the Enter key, and launch into that app. Touch the Start button or the Windows key, and you go right back to the Start screen. And most people in the past have interacted with their computers using the mouse and the keyboard. But now more and more we're using touch screens. If you have a tablet or a smartphone, you're used to touching those. In fact, sometimes I find myself touching the screen on my laptop. Even though it's not a touch screen, I touch it anyway to try and select something. Well, Windows 8 is built with touch in mind. If I swipe my finger to the right, I'll swipe to the right in my Start screen, swipe it to the left, I swipe to the left. If I touch one of these tiles with my finger, I will launch into that app. And usually on touchscreen devices, there's a Windows button you can touch that takes you back to the Start screen. So as simple and clean as this interface is, we do need access to some of our system settings. You can get to those. They're slightly hidden, but they're easy to find. One way to find them is to take your mouse, go to the upper right-hand corner, and you see these charms appear on the right-hand side. Bring your mouse down and the charms darken, and you can then select them. Now, it took me a little practice to get used to this. You can go to the upper right, see the charms, or the lower right, and it will do that as well. If you're using a touch screen, instead of the corners, you go to the edge with your finger, bring it in on the touch screen, and that pulls up the charms as well. And if you like using the keyboard, Windows C for charms will also bring those charms up. So what do these do? Well, you can go into your system settings here, and you can change settings for the app that you're in. You can change some system settings down there. You can also do a search by using these charms. If I click on the search button here, I'm going to search for mouse. I find 4 apps and 19 different settings that have to do with using my mouse. So far, all you've seen are new things, but I want to show you something that's very comforting and familiar, and that's right over here. It's called the desktop. And this takes us to windows that we've known in the past. We have our File Explorer here. We can work with files. You can move these around with the mouse. You can close. You can launch into a program, launch into Excel. And it's the same Excel you've used before. In fact, any program that would work under Windows 7 should be compatible and also work on the desktop here in Windows 8. So that's nice. All the skills that you've learned in the past in working with Windows, you can still use right here in the desktop in Windows 8. You have access to the charms by going to the corner. You can pull those up. I'll click on Start and go back to the Start screen. Now, if I want to switch between programs in Windows 8, I go to the upper left-hand corner, and there my mouse will reveal a series of thumbnails. I can click on the thumbnail I want and jump to that app, touch the Windows key, and I jump back to the Start screen. If you have a touch screen, bring your finger in from the left-hand side, or Windows Tab will also bring up a list of these different thumbnails. Choose the one that you want, and it switches directly to that app. Now, I'm from the old school, and I learned Alt-Tab as a way to switch around Windows applications years ago. Alt-Tab still works, so I can use that old knowledge here in this new version of Windows and get right to work. If you look at the tiles here in the start screen, you'll notice that they are changing. These are called live tiles. And rather than just have a static picture or icon, these are updated with new information. Here in the Finance app, I have updated stock quotes. If I get new emails, you can see those listed on my mail button, or upcoming appointments here in the calendar. So this is nice. At a single glance here in the start screen, I can see all the information I need, and it's updated. I can customize the way this looks. If I want, I can just drag and drop to rearrange these things. And there's a quick clip that talks in more detail about customizing the start screen. Finally, how do you quit from Windows? How do you turn it off? Well, you go up here to the charms, and you go into Settings, and there you'll find the power button, and there you can shut down Windows 8. So that's a look at the latest offering from Microsoft for Windows. There's something comforting and familiar with the desktop, something new and exciting with the start screen and the support of touch and all of these tiles. And the more I use it, the more I really like Windows 8. This has been a quick clip from Nevada Learning Series, helping you get the most from Microsoft Windows.